So guys, Dr. Abati has blasted Tinubu for naming projects after his name. In 2 years, Tinubu has named 7 projects after himself. These are existing projects. They just renovate them and then name them after Tinubu's name. The most striking is that Wike spent 39 billion renovating this conference center in Abuja that was built by the person of Babangida. And Babangida used 240 million naira to build that international conference center. Today, Wike has renovated that same center with 39 billion naira. And Nigerians are wondering what is happening. This is coming at a time when so many Nigerians can barely eat. Insecurity everywhere. A patient was brought to the FMC. And the nurses refused to touch that patient. Their reason was that they don't have gloves to wear. They don't have gloves. In the FCT, that happened 2 days ago. An accident occurred and a good Samaritan had to take some of them that were involved in that accident to the FCT medical center. And on getting there, they were saying they don't have gloves. And the same FCT minister is using 39 billion to renovate a center, and it is now named after Tinubu. We also heard that some section of the building has been named after the Senate President Akpabio and some other person, APC. So guys, Dr. Abati has lent his voice in condemning all this. Dr. Abati is saying that very soon they are going to renovate Aso Villa and name it after Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, take a look at that reaction. But before then, listen to what Fayose Jr. has got to tell Wike and Tinubu. Take a look for yourself.
ICC International Conference Center was built in 1991. It was built by General Muhammadu Babangida for 240 million naira. I repeat, 240 million naira. From the scratch, from the ground, not renovation. Babangida built that place from the scratch with 240 million naira. Let's fast forward 2025. They spent over 30 billion to renovate the place. Just renovation, 30 billion naira. That's what they spent. Even Babangida will build the place. Babangida didn't name the place after himself because he knows it's our national monument. He did not name the place after himself. He called the place International Conference Center. People will come renovate with billions. Just renovation, no be say them change the structure. The minister will renovate with billions, over 30 billion. Can't change the name to their own name. Person will build that. No name after his own name. Person will renovate for billions. So then build that place for 240 million. Then renovate for 39 billion. After renovating, they can't change the name, can't name them after themselves. Just 2 years in power. See, inflation, they go up. Everything, they go up. Everything is going up. They don't care about what is going on. All they care about is naming, naming, putting people on their side, ruling. Person will build down, IDB. No, he didn't name it. He didn't name the place after himself. He named the place international. Like every other country have their international. But you renovate for billions. People where they press Wike. And renovation, then they commission renovation. They renovate, they commission.
On his arrival in Abuja, the president commissioned the International Conference Center, which was renamed after him by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The renovated Abuja International Conference Center, now called Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, was reconstructed with 39 billion naira and completed within 8 months, according to the FCT minister. President Tinubu commended Wike's excellent work and urged him to ignore busybodies and bystanders, emphasizing that Wike is a transformational leader with foresight, vision, and determination. Let's take a look.
I'm greatly honored and happy to be here to reopen this International Conference Center as part of our determined effort to change the way we do things, to reflect us as people of quality, people of character, people of determination, people of great spirit. That's what we are. And I'm glad in this week you are reflecting that. Don't pay attention to the busybody and the bystanders. Whatever they say, continue with your good work. You are a transformational leader. You are the voice, foresight, the vision, and determination to succeed. Thank you very, very much.
A transformational leader indeed. Well, during that ceremony, Wike, in what has become his signature style, showed off his dance moves during the unveiling of that ICC center. Let's take a look. I mean, we see Governor Minister Wike here. I mean, it's just what he's always doing during his commissioning, but it was nice to see him really excited, and I was very excited to hear that the president praised him in that manner, because we know that Wike has always, been doing these commissioning and he gets some sort of attack, like, Reno said, these attacks are very normal, but the president has shown confidence in the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Well, kudos to him. And that unveiling of that ICC center, Wike said it cost 39 billion naira to reconstruct within 8 months. Dr. Abati.
Okay. First, President Tinubu is the principal.
Yes.
Nyesom Wike is the agent.
Yes.
He being an appointee of the president. The principal, taking responsibility for the work of his agent, saying that he's pleased with him. There's nothing anybody can do about that. Is the president praising his appointee in public?
Yes.
What the president cannot do is to say busybodies and bystanders like us cannot talk. The Constitution recognizes the right of busybodies and bystanders to make comments. And it is in that regard, with due respect, that I would like to make the following comments. Now, the International Conference Center is a major landmark in the Federal Capital Territory. I think it's commendable that that place has been renovated. It's a major cultural symbol. People go there for weddings, diplomatic activities take place there, lectures are given there. It's quite an impressive complex, just looking at it architecturally. Now, the president said he went there in 2024 for an ECOWAS conference, an ordinary meeting of ECOWAS, and then he discovered that the place was falling apart. And he had called the FCT minister to say, well, is this how low we have sunk? This place doesn't look befitting enough. It doesn't represent Nigeria well. And the FCT minister promised that, the FCTA will work on the building. And this is the result that we have seen. And the president, obviously was quite impressed with what his minister has been able to do within 11 months to transform that place. Well, I've not seen a full picture of the place, but for the president to have been so impressed to praise his minister, I think it's something commendable. And we'll join him in saying, well, for responding swiftly, Nyesom Wike did well. However, there is something we teach in critical theory. There's a subject in literature called critical theory. This subject is about temporocentrism. Temporocentrism means the tendency to think that your time and place is the best in history. In other words, to simplify it for ordinary, people, it's called present-mindedness. There is, I think, a certain error of temporocentrism in the renaming of that International Conference Center after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nyesom Wike, the minister, says the reason they've done that is to appreciate the leadership of the president, and because he was the one that gave directives for renovating the building. Okay, how about the people that built that International Conference Center? That International Conference Center was inaugurated, was commissioned in 1991, when General Ibrahim Babangida, president, as he called himself, was president of Nigeria. So if we're not suffering from present-mindedness, I think that the honor should have been given to the president who delivered originally on it, not the man whose administration renovated it. In fact, the minister of the FCT didn't stop there. Certain sections of the building were named after the Senate president, the Speaker of the House of Reps, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. It is temporocentrism to the extent that if another administration comes tomorrow and that administration also decides to renovate the building, they might as well also go ahead and decide to change the name of the building. I think that, look, when we name monuments, we should be sensitive to history. That's my only major criticism in that regard. Otherwise, to renovate monuments, to rebuild them, to make them look good, a principal praising a loyal, obedient, appointee, I don't have any problem with that. But it's just about that historical detail. Because I imagine General Babangida, knowing that the building that he supervised originally has been named after another person, may not feel very comfortable with it. And this naming system, this naming of monuments after leaders, we should be careful. I hope Wike will not wake up one day and say he has named Aso Villa after President Tinubu, after renovating some sections of the villa, because I'm sure some sections of the villa will also be in need of renovation.
All right. Well, let's head over to Enugu State now. Well said. Well, in Enugu State, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on Tuesday was conferred with the chieftaincy title Ugo Simba I Enugu by the Traditional Rulers Council in Enugu State. Well, let's take a look.
Today is indeed a great honor to me personally and also to my family. I love your state. It's such a very peaceful state and a very peaceful ambience.
Hey, congratulations to our First Lady. That was a beautiful ceremony. I believe it was about 2 months ago, or about a month ago, her husband, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was conferred with that title, Dike Simba, by the Anambra Traditional Rulers. And now we see First Lady, who's been doing so well. Her visit to Enugu State was to, I believe, to commission different projects and read out the project during that 2-day visit. She launched the Free to Shine campaign, a national initiative aimed at eliminating HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis, particularly among women of reproductive age, and preventing mother-to-child transmission by 2030. She also distributed 10,000 medical kits to midwives and nurses across the Southeast and provided food items to vulnerable groups, reinforcing her commitment to health care. Well, His Royal Majesty Igwe Ikechukwu Asadu said that the honor was in recognition of her love for Enugu State and her service to the nation and humanity. I love that her dance move there. Congratulations to this amazing woman, really. You know, I always love to encourage this sort of philanthropic work that she does, especially with her Renewed Hope initiative.
Absolutely. I think that as a First Lady, her work rate is incredible. And I think she's carrying on the legacy of some of the incredible First Ladies that we've had in the past here in Nigeria. Now, Ugo Simba won. I hope I've gotten that right. Yes. It means the jewel or eagle of another kingdom.
Jewel of empowerment.
Jewel of empowerment from another kingdom. And I think that it's befitting. We've seen her being consistent. She's gone to various states over the past period of about 6 months or so. And she's leading with her humanitarian work, her philanthropic work, her outreach, especially to women and children. And to be honest, this is what we expect from the office of the First Lady. First Lady's pride and joy is the impact that she makes to the most vulnerable in society. And this is what we've seen globally. So I love to see that she continues to imbibe this. Of course, we all know that there's a lot of good political will that also comes along with it. I've called it some soft diplomacy in the past, some soft campaigning on behalf of her husband as well and this administration. We know that Enugu is opposition territory, but you know that doesn't matter when you're the First Lady. You're able to go in there and use philanthropy and humanitarian work to do that. So kudos to her. As long as women and children are benefiting, then you know what? I suppose it's a win-win for all.
It's a win-win for all. Congratulations, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Ugo Simba won Enugu. Let's head over to the United States now, in Los Angeles, California, where tensions escalated after President Donald Trump deployed an additional 700 Marines and 2,000 National Guard troops to the city on Monday amidst ongoing protests sparked by intensified immigration law enforcement, which critics say is tearing families apart. The deployment has been met with strong opposition from local officials and California Governor Gavin Newsom, who have publicly stated their disapproval and even filed a lawsuit challenging the federal government's authority to deploy the National Guard without consent. To Jesutega Onokpasa, a prominent Nigerian lawyer, political commentator, and a former member of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's campaign team, who died on Monday, June 9th, at the age of 49. Onokpasa was known for his vocal support of the All Progressives Congress and President Tinubu, often appearing on national television, including Arise News, to defend the administration's policies. He served on the APC Presidential Campaign Council during the 2023 general elections and was a key member of its policy committee. However, in 2025, Onokpasa publicly withdrew his support for Tinubu's potential re-election bid, citing rising insecurity, deepening economic hardship, and the administration's perceived failure to reward party loyalty. He became critical of the government, even stating in a recent interview that Tinubu has failed woefully in ruling Nigeria and may end up as a one-term president. Onokpasa is survived by his wife and children. The cause of his death, as well as funeral arrangements, are yet to be announced. May his soul rest in peace. Dr. Abati, I believe that, you know, he appeared on your program last on the Rise News channel here, and we did see that, you know, he became quite vocal, you know, towards the end of his life about, you know, concerns with the Tinubu administration. Like I said, the cause of his death is yet to be announced, and funeral arrangements are yet to be announced as well. We will follow up on the story. Really sad day for his family as well as his well-wishers. Again, may his soul rest in peace. We'll take another story. Reno Omokri, a former aide to President Goodluck Jonathan has attempted to counter claims made by a journalist and director at Object TV, Segun Olawoye, who claimed in a viral video that 30 kilometers of the Lagos-Calabar coastal highway had not been completed as alleged by the Ministry of Works. Reno made his assessment by taking journalists from various media houses.
We are at kilometer 19.5 and everything is verified by the mileage of the car, and that will be given video evidence, photographic evidence will be given to everybody present and members of the public if they so want. Right now we are at Okun Aja. People in government should not think that people who raise these objections are enemies of the state, are haters. No, they have a right. A lot of these people are patriotic citizens. When people raise questions like this, it is not possible to over-inform them. You can only under-inform them. It's not possible to over-inform them. You can only under-inform them. So give them the information. Bring them on here. If they insult you, look, under President Jonathan, I was the most insulted human being in Nigeria. Myself, Ruben Abati, and the president. And here I am. I'm 51 years old. I don't think the insults have done too much damage to me.
All right, Dr. Abati, you and Reno Omokri there, he's saying that, it's important that the government listens to critics because it's not about the insults, it's about taking feedback. I believe that this conversation with Reno Omokri and, of course, the journalist who went out there, kudos to him, who went out there to find out whether or not the 30-kilometer had been completed is quite needless because Reno went there and our correspondent, Tokumbo Oyetunji, also went there. He stopped at 19.5 kilometers, but our other reporter with the drone actually went there and did say that the road was disjointed, like what the journalist had said. But the fact still remains that about 30 kilometers or even more had been completed. It's just that it was disjointed. If you see the video that we have up there, if we can pull that up as well, we're seeing that there's a whole 19.5 kilometers that had been completed at stretch, but there's still some sort of measures that need to be completed at this point. Dr. Abati.
Okay, very quickly, a number of things. Reno Omokri made a point that, look, the responsibility of a government is to provide information, and that government cannot over-inform the public. I think on that score he's right. Two, he says that, look, that stretch of road, 750 kilometers total, is going to open up the whole of that corridor, both to real estate, to tourism. Again, that is right. Three is the distance between Lagos and Calabar. When I was, when I was an undergraduate in Calabar, it used to take us 12 hours to travel from Lagos to Calabar. You would take the entire stretch of the old road from Lagos to Benin, Benin to Onitsha, Onitsha to Owerri, Owerri to Aba to Ikorishi, to Ikwaransa, to Ikoripene. Before you get to Calabar, you stop at the Calabar Stadium before you will find our way to Etagbo, to get to the campus. But now, that entire stretch of over 12 hours, by the time this road is constructed, you will spend just about 4.5 hours to get to Calabar. So as somebody who has traveled from this side to that side for a period as a teenager, I think it's something, that is a major worthy legacy project. And that's why I don't join people in condemning the project. Now the people are saying portions of it have not been completed. Now, I had asked questions. The median, that median you see, where there seems to be no construction, that is an optional route that has been left there to make provision for a future rail line. That's the explanation that I got. That in the future it's possible to put a rail line in that median, and then you can have, vehicles. You can also have a rail line. So provision has been made there. But what Reno Omokri has done is to travel up to 19.something kilometers, 19.5 kilometers, and to say, look, it is real. And as for skeptics who say, oh, they don't think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will complete the project. Well, it's for him a legacy project. I think that this kind of project, as is a legacy project, he will be toying with the mind of Nigerians if he says he's not going to complete it. If he's lucky, he gets a second term in office. I believe that this will be a priority. And they are attacking the road from different sides, from the Calabar end, and this is the Lagos end that we're talking about. And there's a lot of commitment on the part of the Federal Ministry of Works. There are other ancillary issues about compensation, about setback, about who the contractor is and all that. No, those are another set of issues. But the big issue is that, you know, the road is real and some progress has been made.
Yes.
And I think that we should just encourage government. But as Reno Mokri also pointed out, citizens have the right to ask questions. And if they ask questions, answers must be provided to those questions.
Absolutely. And some of the question concerns tolling. How much is it going to cost the average Nigeria to pass that road? Also the fact that it's our money that is being used to build the road. So we want to know how much it is. And also, like Dr. Abati has raised, compensation. I mean, because the realignment, the people that were displaced because of realignment, those people are still asking us to, what is it that they're going to do with that whole corridor?
Yeah, and the setback has now been increased from 250 meters to 500 meters. Some approvals that had been granted will now be revoked as well. That instruction has been given. So there's still a few complications. Now, I don't think the challenges are around the roads, the construction of the road and so forth. It's ongoing, yes. Like Dr. Abati said, there are a few questions, regarding some of the accountability issues if we're looking at costing, if we're looking at contractors and so forth. However, what raised this new, this resurgence of critique was people are asking, why are we doing all of this fanfare for 30 kilometers, only now to find that it's not even really 30 kilometers? So the question was really, was there need for the fanfare? And I think that's where we take the conversation back to, we've said this before and we say it again, that I think when the government is communicating, it's very important to just get to the point, to just communicate the point directly. We could have celebrated 20 kilometers, 19.5 kilometers, as opposed to the 30 kilometers stretch. That's number one. Number two, it was unnecessary. It was a little bit of drama that has become unnecessary because now people are countering it and so forth. What it does is it erodes public trust. It means that when there's communication, people will take it with a comma or a question mark. And we're trying to walk away from that. So when people raise their voices to critique, it's not because people are trying to fight the government or anti-government, but it's because we're trying to say, can we start this relationship all over again in a way that builds, that fosters trust, transparency, accountability between all those involved? Because now here people have gone to prove it. I'm glad that Reno Mokri has done this. I think this is a really good thing that he has done. But in future, like we've said with, remember there were issues around loans, several issues come up, and we just say, let's just be transparent in our communication so that that public trust isn't eroded.
Well, you know what, to be fair, the contractor during the commissioning ceremony said almost 20 kilometers had been completed, almost, he used the word almost, from the Lekki to the Okwaja axis, and then almost 10 kilometers. So this journalist just went there to, really fact check. But the problem was the fact that Reno had posted a picture saying that he was at the 30th kilometer, which really wasn't the fact. But he has come out to clarify what he was trying to say. And, we'll just say kudos to this administration because they have really done well with infrastructure at this moment. We'll take another story now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has returned to Abuja after spending 2 weeks in Lagos, where he celebrated the Eid al-Fitr festival. Well, the president was accompanied by the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and other government officials to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, finally ending public speculation to a rift between the two leaders.
So guys, you have seen what we are seeing in this country. Hey, what you will not see in this country does not exist, like they will say. What the APC cannot do does not exist. These people are just out for this country. You can imagine under 2 years, Tinubu has named 7 projects after his name. And the most worrying part of this is that these are not as if he constructed these projects from scratch. You know, these were existing projects that other people, let me say other people's idea, but because he came on board and he renovated them, guess what? He is now renaming them after himself. And the most worrying part of all this is that some of these structures are not relevant considering the challenges of Nigerians now. Can you imagine going to spend 30 billion naira in renovating a conference center? Nigerians are wondering, does it really worth it in a country that struggles when it comes to medical structures? There is a lady, you know, recently somebody was taken to the hospital and one of the nurses there said they don't have gloves in the medical center in Abuja. They don't have gloves. This just happened like 2-3 days ago. She said they don't have gloves. The same Abuja is spending 30 billion in renovating international conference center, like they call it. Sometimes these people attach no meaning to Nigerian people's life. They don't value our lives. If they value our lives, they will give us little things as, you know, water. Peter Obi was in one of the IDP camps that they don't have medical structure. Even the one that they have, the one nurse is the one attending to how population of how many people. If you can remember when Peter Obi celebrated one of his birthday in IDP camp, he complained this was happening in Abuja. The same Tinubu's government is spending 30 billion to renovate conference center so that it will be named after Tinubu. You see what Tinubu and Wike are doing. See what they are doing to Nigerians, honestly. It's really so sad. It's really, really so sad. 30 billion used in renovating. What is it? Conference center, Nigerians. Wike is now saying that politicians will pay to use it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when we have a Nigeria where WAEC students are writing WAEC at almost midnight? Nothing is properly structured. It's all about Tinubu. In 2 years, Tinubu has named 7 structures after himself. It's really so sad. It's really, really so sad. I'm trying to let me go this so that I don't give you a wrong fact, you know. Somebody, okay, Ayo Fayose was saying that this very international conference center was built by Babangida and they used 240 million to build it. But now in the renovation, they used 39 billion to renovate it. 39 billion naira to renovate it. Nigerians, what is happening? What is happening to this country? 39 billion to renovate a structure that was built using 250 million. Now 39 billion to renovate it. They are just stealing all the money they are borrowing. 39 billion. To renovate. We don't have good, our federal universities are in bad shape. We don't have good medical centers. Even FCT is not working. And see how these people are playing with the lives of Nigerians. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of this. It's really, really so pathetic, you know, watching some of these things, the way these guys behave, the way they are just taking Nigerians for granted. Because, see, this is too much. It is too much. Can you imagine that they use, okay, I think 30 billion naira to renovate. Okay, no, this is different. I think we can spend 39 billion to renovate this ICC. You know, 30 billion, 39 billion, sorry, 39 billion naira was used for this structure. I pity those who say they want to vote for Tinubu. I really pity them. 39 billion used to renovate a house. and named it after Tinubu after they used 21 billion to renovate the vice president's residence in Abuja. Now they are using 39 billion to renovate International Conference Center. Can you see it? And FCT Medical Center does not have common glove. A patient was brought to the hospital 2 days ago, and one of the nurses said she won't touch him because there is no glove in the hospital. Nigerians, where are we heading to? Anyway, let me just know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.